Fullsix Group internationally, and I'm also the CEO of Six & Co, which is part of the Fullsix Group. Just two words. Portugal is a country that is close to my heart because I worked here in 1996, so a long time ago. I was working at Procter & Gamble. That's when I met Filipa Caldera and Pedro Batalha, who founded Fullsix in Portugal. And then I left Portugal to go to the States to create the digital marketing team of Procter & Gamble. And then in 2000, I joined the Fullsix Group. And now I'm very happy to continue working with Pedro and Filipa. So the topic of the presentation today is adapting your marketing to fight the first recession of the digital age. Actually, the recession that we are living now, as far as marketing is concerned, is not like any recession before. We are now in the digital age. There are things that have changed, and that's what we are going to talk about. So I invited a friend of mine that is called the recession monster, because he scares everybody. And in the presentation, I'm going to explain a few tips or rules on how to fight this guy. So first, let's, in order to understand that, let's move back 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I made a keynote speech here in Lisbon. I was working for P&G. And actually that's when Pedro and Filipa told me about the fact they would want to build a digital agency. And I told them, oh, there's a great company called Fullsix. I was not part of it at this moment. So the world has changed a lot because there were two, and now there are more than 100 people. But beyond that, the world has changed because the digital revolution has disrupted the entire marketing landscape. Obviously, you know, we have new digital channels, the internet being the most important. But more than that, consumers have changed a lot in their minds, in their heads. One of the big changes is that they don't make decisions as they used to. Advertising is less effective, less convincing, and they rely more on their friends. And digital has empowered them to give their opinion and to know about the opinion of others. Also, the ability to track, to measure, and to personalize. This is something that has really happened with the digital revolution. And as a result of these changes, marketing and communication are also or should change. It's about being more agile, more dynamic, more reactive. It's about including consumers, not just talking at consumers, but actually interacting with them and putting them into the process of product development, into the process of advertising and marketing. And so this is important to understand, because when we talk about how do we fight the recession now, the first recession of the digital age, we have to leverage these new capabilities. And one thing is that during this time, consumers have changed faster than marketers. What you can see here is that TV is still, in terms of ad spendings, the first medium by far, and is also the first in terms of time spent per consumer. But what we see here in yellow is that internet is becoming, and actually is now, the most influential media when people make decisions about what they buy. And so, obviously, when we are in recession and that our money is, our advertising money is being counted, this is something to take into consideration. And then, the recession monster has appeared. It's coming. And I see you're all frightened. And this recession is making all what I've talked about, it's accelerating. Because the consumers have less money, they want to be more informed about what they are buying. Because they want to be more informed, they use the tools they have. And they have a lot of tools now in the digital age. They have the search engines, they have Messenger, they have emails, they can interact with other people. It's cheap, it's actually free, and so they can interact a lot and they can exchange a lot, and that changes the way they make decisions. And there will be no turning back. Once they have learned to do this, they are not going to get back after the recession to what they were doing before. So it's very important to understand what to do. First, to fight against the recession, but also after the recession, when things will get better, to continue being successful. So, in a nutshell, as I said, consumers know they will have to make choices when you don't have a lot of money. And as I said, they are heavily using online to make these choices. 82% of the internet users are actually using search engines to make decisions on what they buy. Consumers also have decided to push back investments. And so, what is very important to understand is that this will happen on all areas where they don't personally consider it's vital. It's not, everybody will not consider the same thing is vital for them. Some will save on travel, some will save on food, some will save on leisure. But everybody will have to make tough choices, or are making tough choices, and they continue to spend on what is vital, and they cut the rest. For example, mobile phones, internet providers are quite okay through the recession. We see in France that mobile phones start to have a problem in terms of people communicating or spending less on mobile phones. And last but not least, the trust in the establishment. Whether it was banks when the crisis started, but brands now is decreasing. We've seen in France that the level of trust in brands have decreased by about 20%. And so they will only trust what they can understand, what they can check. And that's also something very important to take into account on how to market during this recession time. So, we saw about consumers, but what about media vendors? Well, media vendors, what we are seeing is that there's a move, there's pressure on media vendors, obviously, and there's a move to replicate the only model that is still growing, it's paid for performance, or cost per action. So you see a development of this. And as we are going to see in the presentation, this is true on the internet, but it could be true on other media. What about advertisers? Well, usually, in times of recessions, advertisers, when the top line, the revenues are going down, they need to protect the profit, the bottom line. And so they cut their spendings. That's usually what people do. And we are going to see that, well, it's not about telling them, no, 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 don't cut, don't cut, don't cut, full point, like a lot of traditional agencies are doing, don't cut TV, don't cut TV. Because they have to cut. The problem is cut wisely and cut what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. So, based on this analysis, we have defined the 10 golden rules for marketing during this recession of the first recession of the digital age, and I'm going to go through them. So first, even on a lot of products, Procter & Gamble, for example, has reviewed all their marketing messages, and in their advertising, most of their brands now have a value for money message. Leverage your competitors' investments. We'll see it in details, but sometimes it's good to be clever and smart. Third, measure, optimize. That's this iterative process that the internet is bringing, the internet marketing is bringing into the marketing world. This is very important. As I said, don't panic, cut only what you can't measure. Obviously, it's not about not spending anything, but it's about spending wisely. The next one is getting the low-hanging fruits first. One thing is you can spend a lot of money trying to acquire new customers. It's a lot of money, but sometimes brands have their own consumers, their own customers that are ready to buy more, and this is an opportunity. Build and leverage your ambassador network. Also, every brand has fans, has people who actually like the brand and that are ready to talk favorably to their friends. So and it's cheap, it doesn't cost a lot, it exists. So the idea is how to identify these ambassadors and how to motivate them to help you. Don't just entertain, engage. When we are not in recession times, it's great to entertain people with advertising, they like it. When we are in recession times, it's also great to entertain people because they really need it. But it's not enough. It's not enough. You have to engage them, to bring them with you with your brand, because they will trust you more, they will buy you more, and they will talk about your brand to their friends. Make sure you listen to your customers. This is important. I'm going to explain it. Build trust and confidence through clarity. I said before that one of the big issues of this recession is that there's a real trust problem into brands. We need to rebuild this trust. And the last one is escape from the middle ground. What we are seeing is that in the recession, high-end brands are suffering a little bit, but it's okay. Low-cost brands are going well, and everybody within the middle is suffering a lot. We're going to talk there. And then move fast, because marketing is changing. So the first one, expose and explain your brands and products' value for money. So here, either you are on the low side and you better talk about the price and the fact that it's cheap, etc. Or you are on the high-end side and you need to explain the reasons of why people would pay so much to buy a brand. So we took two examples. The first one,
Debbie?
The first one is a brand that used to be called Debitel, it's now called Simpleo. This is a mobile operator in France, and it's a low cost. And so we have worked with them in order to clearly explain the value for money, why it's cheap, and so that people understand that it's not crap service, it's cheap but it's good. And the way we did it, you're going to have a video to explain it, is by saying, okay, the simplest, the cheapest. So we are here not to send emails, we are here to phone. We provide you something to phone and send some SMS. And because we provide this only, this can be really, really cheap and people understand.
Debitel becomes Simplio. % of mobile customers use only voice and SMS and now want mobile operators to be more transparent and simplistic in their offers. The 5 key pillars of the campaign creative approach are simplicity to match the simplicity of the offer, flexibility to allow easy adaptation based on performance, transparency of the message, humorous tone, and the voice of a well-known identity to create familiarity and affinity with the brand. The Simplio campaign is multi-platform using all channels, website, online banners, TV, press, promotional mailings. The campaign is driven and optimized daily based on results. If there is a decline in mobile plan subscriptions, online banners and TV spots are optimized in real time. The global campaign has achieved 27% growth in new customers, exceeding forecasted objectives. Debitel has successfully become Simplio.
So here what we are saying is that in every single media, there's only one message. It's the more simple, the cheapest. So a phone is made to phone. It's not made to do anything else, to do the cooking or whatever else. And every time we just have one simple message, and that works, as in the video is saying, we exceeded objectives. We had 27% more customers than before. So that's when you want to do low cost. So here you see, Simplio, the more it's simple, the less it's expensive, because when with the other telephone companies, you pay for a lot of things that you don't use. Now, let's take the reverse. A company that actually has an offer that is all-inclusive this time. So we take the reverse. It's a travel company called Club Med. Everybody knows Club Med? Okay, Club Med has a formula that is all-inclusive. They've been the leader since several decades. Everything is included in their price. The problem becomes when recession comes, that people are starting to compare. They compare the price of Club Med, and then they compare on Expedia the price of the flight plus the price of the hotel. And then they see a big difference, and they say, wow, Club Med is really expensive, so in fact, recession can go against Club Med. And this is an issue, obviously. Now there is an opportunity. The opportunity that we have used in every single communication that we are doing with Club Med is to say this offer includes transport, choice, cooking, blah blah blah. Everything is included, and you can check. So there is a real explanation, an in-depth explanation of every single element that the offer comprises. And when people look at the page of here it's the website, every time it's said to the consumer, this is every single thing that is included in the price. Then, when you get the price, again, this offer, it's always repeated so that people understand and don't just compare apple with oranges. What we are doing and what we are going to put online in the next 2 months is even a comparison engine that you have on the Club Med website that has every single thing checked, and you can take the competitors' offerings and you put them into the comparison engines, and when there's something you forgot, it says, hey, in this price of the competitor, you forgot to put this, and this, so go back, get the real numbers, and at the end, you can compare apples with apples. That's a way, again, to express the value for money during the recession when you are all inclusive. The second one is about being smart, being smart. So judo. Judo is a martial art that is very interesting because it's using not your own strengths, it's using actually the strengths of your opponent. And the stronger is your opponent, if you are good at judo, the more dangerous you are yourself. So, applying this to recession times, it's not new. When Mr. Woolworth opened his first store a very, very, very long time ago, his competitor, the retailer that was at that time established, put something on their door saying, we are doing business in the same spot for over 50 years. And so what Woolworth did, he said, well, I established just 1 week ago, so I don't have old stock. So this is a long time ago, but this is really still in the news. British Airways, they've made a fantastic promotion. 5,200 free flights to New York during 1 day. So Virgin was with the competitor did something very interesting. Virgin Atlantic. It has always been Virgin's policy to encourage you to fly to London for as little as possible. That's why on June 10th, we encourage you to fly British Airways. As for the rest of the days, we look forward to seeing you aboard Virgin Atlantic, because we are the cheapest for the best possible service. So this is funny. Now let's look at another example that is not at all funny, but that shows you how you can leverage your competitors' investments online. Here you have it's about Whirlpool, the washing machines, and here you have the level of keyword search about Whirlpool during the year 2008. And in Fullsix, so Whirlpool is one of our clients, we are tracking on a regular basis the search levels, and we are also tracking the search levels of competitors. And suddenly we saw in July 2008 a spike in LG searches. So we said, okay, what's happening? Actually, LG was doing a TV campaign about their new product, which is steam wash machine. It happened that Whirlpool also had a steam wash machine. So we said, okay, but we don't have any campaign on Whirlpool. What can we do? Well, what we saw is that LG had forgotten to buy keywords on steam wash machines. They had only bought keywords on LG. So what we did is that we bought keywords on steam wash machines, and all the traffic that the TV campaign was bringing online, because obviously in the digital age, people, when they hear of an ad on a new machine, what they do is that they go online. They go online, they look at what what is the product. But not all of them remember it's about LG. They remember about steam wash. So by doing that, Whirlpool was able to leverage LG investments, and in recession times, it's just a great thing to do. The third rule is about measuring, optimizing, etc. Those who are internet marketing professionals, you know about it, that it's something very important in digital marketing. And it's very different from what I was doing when I was at P&G, when we would spend months on creating a new TV advertising, and then we would, or a new product, we would launch it, and then 2 or 3 months after we would see the results. And if the results were not good, it was too late, because it was 3 months too late. So, in the digital world, companies are really adopting this approach. This is Amazon, and this is Amazon. This is the shopping cart text of Amazon. And here we took it only in a period of 2 months. And we see that Amazon is constantly trying to optimize. You would think Amazon is doing it for 10 years, so they should be now totally optimal. No, they are trying every time different ways to make sure that they optimize their conversion rate on their website. Another example, so you remember about Simpleo. And here it's going beyond the internet. What we are doing on Simpleo is that we took the approach of internet advertising. So when you do banners, usually, you put some banners online, you see what are the click rates, etc. Those who don't work, you replace them, and then you optimize your click rates, etc. That's what is usually done on internet advertising. And we said, hey, why don't we do that on TV? So what we did is that we created TV spots, TV commercials that are very simple. Like a couch is made to sit on it, not to do anything else, and a telephone is made to phone. That's it. So very simple, and we can change objects. I mean, you have plenty of objects where you can say this is made to do that, not to do something else. And then we put these commercials on TV, and we follow in real time what is the impact on the website visits, on search results, and on phone calls, on the call center. And when we see that one of the TV ads is not performing as well as it was doing, we just, because our format is very simple to do, we just make a new ad, and 2-3 days later, there is a new ad that is on TV. And that allows constantly to optimize. So when we are talking about measuring and optimization, if you just open your mind, this is not just the internet. You take the spirit of the internet and you put it in a lot of other places. Well, the fourth golden rule is don't panic, cut only what you can't measure. Here, I'm going to be very, very, very short on this one. When you look at the evolution of advertising spendings in the last 6 months, what you're seeing is that overall there are problems for a lot of people. Online is behaving much better, but inside online, display is suffering, while search is going fine. Pay for performance is going really well. What does it mean? It means that advertisers are transferring money. They are not cutting TV just not to do anything TV or other traditional media. They are actually, some of them are transferring their money online, and especially on the pay for performance. We have a lot of clients in France and in the UK who come to see us for the first time, saying my traditional model doesn't work, I can't really measure the impact, what can I do with online? But let's be very clear, my friends of Fullsix or Six & Co, I'm not going to do online stuff the same way as I do TV, etc. I want real measurement. I want to make sure that everything is tracked. And so, as part of this fourth rule, is that on traditional media, try to measure as much as you can, but as we are telling our clients, online is great because it's the DNA of the media that you can measure. And beyond being measurable, as I said, it's agile. You can change things and improve very quickly. So, rule number 5, get the low-hanging fruits first. As I said, it's a little bit stupid to spend a lot of money trying to acquire new customers that are not very interested in what you can propose. And for example, TV advertising has a huge coverage. That's great. It has a lot of power, but you touch people who don't care about you. Here, there are two opportunities. One, it's to acquire customers that would be ready to buy something like a car. We are going to see an example on the car. But they are still hesitating a little bit. So they are really ready in their minds, but they are afraid there is a barrier. One of the things to do is to put down these barriers. And that's why that's what Hyundai is doing in the United States. Hyundai has been known in the States. It's in their DNA of their insurance. They have they were the first one to give a 10-year warranty about their products because nobody knew them. So they wanted to say, okay, we are sure of our products. It's 10-year warranty. And then they were clever. They are clever during recession times. Is that they adapt this. They said, okay, now what are people are afraid of buying a car because they might lose their job. So they created an evolution of their insurance by saying, right now, if you buy or lease a new Hyundai, and if in the next year you lose your income, you can return it. That's our insurance. And that is very powerful for these people that are ready to buy a car but are still hesitating. It has absolutely no interest for the people who don't care about buying a car in the next year. But for those who are ready and we just wonder, it's very effective. Then another way to get the low-hanging fruits is to be present at the right time. So that's what. That's what Pizza Hut is doing. Is that they've done an application on Facebook, and when people are on Facebook, etc., they spend a lot of time on Facebook, especially the young people. They have an interface and they can buy a pizza. So they make it very simple to buy this pizza, and that doesn't cost a lot, but it's about being smart and being where people are. Another one, it's done by Netflix. Netflix is like a digital age movie rental website. So what Netflix is doing is that they really encouraged the customers of Netflix to talk about movies, to give their opinions about them, to give the ratings, and they encourage the conversation. So by doing that, each consumer is actually encouraging another one to say, hey, this movie is really great. So the consumer would not have thought of renting this one, but as he sees it's really great, they rent. And at the end, they rent more than if there was not these applications. So for Netflix, the current customers are the source of development during these recession times, and it's being done with very simple ideas. Alors, the next one is to build and leverage your brand network. Your brand network, it's like every person here, every person has a network. You know people, they like you, they don't like you, but you are connected with people. And brands, it's the same. Ambassadors, influencers, engaged consumers, every brand has its own network. This network is very important because, one, for the people who have a good opinion, if you manage to convince them to talk about you favorably, that's great because they are very credible, they will make the advertising for you. In your network, the people who speak negatively about you, it's better to identify them, to talk to them, because one negative opinion equals 3 positive opinions. So we have seen, the London School of Economics has made a study on that. When one guy who says bad things about you equals three guys saying nice things. So it's very important to manage this network. So what have we done? There's a brand called Sprite. Everybody knows Sprite, the drink from Coca-Cola. And we said instead of doing traditional advertising, we are going to do a totally different approach. We have created a brand content that you're going to see in 2 minutes. And then we have, everything is around leveraging the network of the brand. The people who like Sprite, who like this content, who get engaged. We went to see the influencers, people who are talking, who have bloggers, etc. And we created a whole network based on this content. So this content is a girl who is a singer from the UK. Nobody knows her, and she goes to the States, and we are going to follow her life around that. So I don't know how much in time we are.
Music is everywhere. In the street, in the city, in your ear. The world has a soundtrack, but I'm looking for songs of my own. My name is Katie Vogel, and this is where it begins. Hang on, but I'm saying that I'm
Okay, basically the girl goes to New York and tries to be famous. Okay, the interesting part here is that around this content, for the first time in the world, you can see it on YouTube, and if you click on this plus here, you launch something called Facebook Connect. I think people know about Facebook Connect. Okay, Facebook Connect allows you to be on a site and connect with your friends on Facebook. That was kind of tough to do because YouTube and Facebook don't like each other. So trying to connect Facebook with YouTube was kind of difficult. But the idea here is that the people who like this girl, they can connect and chat with their friends, so with their network, about the show. They can interact, they can obviously they can embed it in their Facebook pages, etc. And so we start the buzz around it, leveraging this ambassador network. Of course, we are doing advertising, but not the typical advertising. The advertising is about the show, it's not about the drink. So here it's about the father who says, leave our daughter alone. And okay, 7, I'm going very fast now. It's not just about entertainment, it's about engagement. here, this is the first election rally on Facebook. Basically, a guy wanted to convince US voters to go and vote for Obama, mostly. So they said, okay, at midnight, everybody is going to change their Facebook status to encourage people to go and vote tomorrow. And you know, everybody started to pass it to their network, to their friends on Facebook, and they had almost 1 million people, but they had 4 million status messages changed, and they had almost 1 million messages sent. So when you engage people, when you encourage them to act, it's actually working well. Starbucks is doing that. Starbucks has a promotion that is really aimed to engage people. It's called You In. If you agree to join the community and give 5 hours of your time for a charity that you select, and you prove it, you can join the community and you have a free coffee in a Starbucks. So you have the experience of Starbucks. It's great. It's great for Starbucks also because it allows to bring people and probably they will buy a cake on top of the coffee. And also they talk to their friends about this because they are proud to say, okay, I offered 5 hours of my time, and they like to talk with the community. So, I mean, and they have more than 1 million people, no, it's 1 million hours that are being devoted to charity. Maybe you know this example, it's called Whopper Sacrifice. So, Burger King was thinking, how can I engage people? So let's be clever. And they did something on YouTube. For every 10 YouTube friends that you drop, that you say, I don't want to be friends with them, you get a Whopper for free. And that was hugely successful because you're so committed with Whopper that you can sacrifice 10 of your friends. And it was so successful in a very short period of time that Facebook stopped it because they say it's not the spirit of Facebook and blah, 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 blah. This is a French e-commerce site. They just implemented engagement, so ratings and reviews on their website, like you've seen on Amazon. Their conversion rate moved to 40%, and it increased by 24% thanks to the rating and reviews. Here again, when you engage consumer, you just don't entertain them. This doesn't cost a lot of money to do that, but when you're clever, you try to engage, people will reward you and they will talk favorably about you. Next one is about listening to your customers. Tropicana, orange juice. Some guys in the marketing team have decided that the Tropicana packaging sucked. So they wanted to change it, and they changed it. They spent a lot of money with a very expensive packaging company. They put it on the market, and 2 months after, less than 2 months after, they withdraw it and they put back the old one. Why? Because very quickly, people started to be on forums and saying, have you seen this crap packaging on Tropicana? I'm not going to buy it anymore. And they actually saw a drop in their sales. You could think, honestly, who cares about orange juice and cares about speaking about an orange juice packaging on the internet? People they should have other things to do in their lives. Well, actually, they do it, and it's being said. And Tropicana listened to their customers, and they changed. Well, that is when you have a problem, but listening is not just about when you have a problem. This is an example of the French railways, where they have a proactive conversation with their customers. The head of the company is on a regular basis talking with their customers, answering questions, And that allows to explain, that doesn't cost a lot of money either, but that helps the company and that helps to listen to the customers. And if you don't do it, somebody else will do it. This is a site that was set up by Fullsix New York, because they love iPhones, but they thought it was, sometimes it's really shitty. So they created a site called Please Fix the iPhone. And in a very short period of time, they had more than 600,000 votes and about 2,000 suggestions of iPhone problems. It's a little bit stupid that Apple didn't do it themselves because they don't look that good if somebody else is doing it. But listening to the customers allows to improve your products in a very cheap way, because they just speak to you. Now, and I'm going to finish quickly. This is an important one. Build trust and confidence. As we said, trust is a big issue now for brands.
Wearing your baby seems to be in fashion. I mean, in theory, it's a great idea. There's the front baby carrier, the sling, the swing, the wrap, the pouch, and who knows what else they've come up with. Wear the baby on your side, your front, go hands-free. Supposedly it's a real bonding experience.
Okay, we are short in time. So this is an ad, a video that Motrin, which is a painkiller, has done. Basically they were saying, okay, we say that bringing kids is great, etc., but actually it's painful. And so they thought it was wise because it was kind of straight talk. The problem is that a lot of mothers on the internet, especially through Twitter, said, what the hell is that? I'm happy to carry my kid because it's good for him, etc. Who are these guys at Motrin to tell things like that? They are absolutely, it's absolutely scandalous. And so it started to spread, and Motrin had to come back and say, okay, we screwed up. But we apologize, we learned a lot, etc. They recognized, and at the end it went kind of fine. Here is another example of a site called Get Satisfaction, where Dell and other companies are using to get feedback from people, and they openly, transparently show how many people have the same problem. 10 years ago, when you are a brand, you have a problem, a consumer calls you, you're saying, oh, it's your fault, you used it wrongly, and blah, 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 you're the only one to have this problem, get lost. Now with the internet, they know that the people are going to be online, and they are going to say, hey, I have this problem. So you can be proactive with it, and this site is helping you, and it helps the brand. And the last one is escape from the middle ground. So it's very quick, very quick. This is an Apple. A lot of company has chosen to downsize and to bring the cost down because it's recession. We chose a different path, and this path is innovation. So it's very important to understand that in recession times, the middle ground of a market is where it really sucks. You have either to move up and find a way to better explain your value for money, etc., or be very low cost and also explain why, but everything that is in the middle ground is in danger. And the last is move fast. So, as a conclusion, if you market really badly in recession times, if you cut without thinking and so on, you can dig your own hole. What we propose to do with these golden rules is that instead you dig the recession monster hole. Thank you very much.